Garden tour, September 16th, 2024. Well, it's been a few weeks since I've done a video. Lots of changes. The season's progressing. Starting to slow down, obviously. I can't remember where this was in the last video. I think probably cut down, but I have since overseeded this with rye, as well as the patch just beyond it over there. But you can see in the middle there, I got kind of spotty germination, so I'm going to reseed that today. So these two patches will be rye again come spring. Maybe I'll get around to transforming them back into beds. We'll see. You can see here, one of my echinaceas is finally flowering a little bit. And here's the corn project. Didn't amount to much except for a snack for the, I think probably crows. I did manage to eat one ear. So we'll call that experiment a fail. But, you know, the corn was yummy. But probably won't try that again. Oh, what else do we got here? It's getting a little weedy, I haven't been doing the weeding that I should, but it's still pretty good. Here's some lettuce down here. You can see that I think the bugs got a hold of before I was able to get any of it. That was Great Lakes. What have we got? The butternuts are doing their thing this time of year. They're developing nicely. Got a couple of cantaloupes down here. Oh, we can see the crows are trying to see if they like cantaloupe. Yeah, the crows have been enjoying the garden this summer. Can't blame them, so have I. Oh, what else do we have? We've got some pumpkins down here. We've got my second planting of carrots with some kale and some lettuce in the middle. Got kind of spotty germination in the carrots, but there's some carrots in there, so I'll take that. There is my second planting of beets, which is doing pretty good. I started harvesting beets out of there last week, so that's a good thing. Oh, over there we've got a row of leeks and weeds and volunteer tomatoes. So I think I'm going to harvest some leeks this week. And amongst it's a orange pumpkin that I might take this week. And amongst the butternuts are once again volunteer cherry tomatoes, which I've been harvesting. I think the crows have been helping themselves too, and probably the mice. But there's some good cherry tomatoes in there, so those will be coming home with me. What else have we got here? We've got, some stevia. This is stevia here that I stuck in, stevia plants. That's a yummy sweetener that I use a little bit. I dry it out. This is some past due cilantro. We've got some parsley down here in this bed. This was a bed of watermelons, which I've got a few watermelons out of here. The crows have enjoyed them too, as you can see down there. That's, I think the crows got that one. The okra is still producing. Let's see. Oh, there's an okra. There's an okra. There's an okra. This red amaranth is big and beautiful. I'm just enjoying the sight of it. Haven't really figured out what to do with it yet. I planted a lot more flowers and a lot more like accent material for bouquets, but just have not had the time to experiment with it, unfortunately. But you know the old standards. Zinnias, sunflowers have been doing well. Here is what should be a celery bed, but I think the squash got over here and crowded it. Plus I kind of got it in late, and it's in one of these beds here that's shaded in the afternoon, so it doesn't look like it's going to be much of a celery year for me, unfortunately. But that's all right, because celery doesn't really sell that well at my farm stand, so there's no point in growing things that doesn't sell. I mean, other than the fact that I like to eat it. Here we got some more okra. We got some jalapeno peppers in here. There we go. Here's some jalapeno peppers right there. Starting to get black and spicy. Still got some little, I think those are called Adam Gherkin cucumbers down there. They're hanging on for dear life. This was a Silver Slicer cucumber plant. Looks like that puppy's toast. Yeah, it looks like this was a cucumber bed initially, and the cukes have held on as long as they could, but it looks like they're toast. I don't see any cukes that I can find. I'll paw through here a little bit more later. What else do we have? Got some more jalapenos in here. I think these are jalapenos. And those might not be jalapenos. That might be a bell pepper. And then this bed here is what was 1A of my summer squash and zucchini. And I've still got you can see a zucchini plant hanging on there, a couple summer squash plants hanging on here. And I've been still getting some summer squash and zucchini off of every week. So I'll take what I can get. I have since the squash plants in the upper part of the bed have already died, I have replanted. I direct seeded some scallions down the middle, which you can just barely start to see coming up. I don't know if those are gonna make it for this year, but we'll see what happens. We've got you can see the remnants of an original planting of scallions still left over. And I've also stuck in some late season kale seedlings along the edges here. See if those get big enough to harvest before it gets too cold out. And you can see here the Malabar spinach taking over this end of the trellis again, just like it did last year. I don't think it's quite as robust as it was last year, but you know, it is what it is. It's a beautiful plant, so I'll take it. Oh, we've got still some cherry tomatoes producing here. We've got what are those? Oh man, the name's slipping my mind at the moment. Esterinas is what those are. We've got a pumpkin plant here. You can see that has made it all the way from the other, I don't know, 20 feet away probably at least, to the tomato trellis, and there's a sugar pie pumpkin hanging from the tomato trellis. You can see in the base of the bed here, what is that, Sweet Alyssum is doing well. It's really taken off. Bees like it. Got my perennial oregano, comes back every year. That's nice. Anything you plant and forget is high on my list. Oh, let's see what else we've got here in the garden. We've got the tomato tunnel here. Tomatoes are doing pretty good. I've had to, produce more tomatoes this year than I ever have, so that's good. Let's see. Let's take a walk down the tunnel. We've got the scarlet runner beans here, which are starting to put out. Oh, we've, the kale. And this bed is still going that I have interplanted. Now you can hear the bees buzzing on this Sweet Alyssum. It's like sounds like a group of tiny helicopters or something. Still got the chard. It's doing pretty good. It was getting really devoured earlier in the year, but since the Sweet Alyssum has really taken off, there's not as many bugs and slugs chewing it up, so whatever the case, I'll take it. You can see most of my larger slicer tomato plants are dead, but there's still a few here. There's no ripe ones currently, so it's going to be a short tomato week. But luckily, I've got a dozen to 15 left from last week. So look at this puppy. This Volunteer nasturtium. This came back, was planted here last year. So hopefully the same thing will happen again next year. We'll have nasturtium doing its thing right there. You can see these indigo kumquat cherry tomatoes here still going. You can see this bed here is now empty. Cleaned this out yesterday. This was my first planting of bush tomatoes right here. Ripped those out, they were done. I'm not doing anything crispy. And direct seeded some scallions. I had some seed. My experience, you know, onion seed, saving it till the next year is, you know, not gonna produce great germination results, so I like to just use it all and buy some more for next year. So just wanted to get it in the ground, see if it'll produce something for me this year. Here I have planted, oh, I don't know, my 5th or 6th planting of radish in what was my 1A summer squash bed. I actually tucked in, I had a few seedlings left over, and I put those in, and a couple of them survived, I think. Well, I only see one at the moment, but there might be some more down there in the radishes. As I pull these radishes, we'll see. Here are, oh, the 2 summer squash plants that didn't get annihilated earlier in the summer. They're still producing, so I'm happy about that. And here is the peppers bed. The shishitos are, you know, blowing up. I'm getting, oh, I don't know, half a dozen pints every week. So I'll take that, and they're selling pretty good. Here is the mystery pepper bed. Oh, I've all kinds of, I only planted what were labeled as green and multicolored bell peppers in here, and I've got some green peppers out of here, so I'll take that, but not many. You know, it's I don't know, it's tough to do peppers well outdoors. It helps to cover them and give them some extra heat since they're such a warm-loving, heat-loving plant, but I get a few. I don't put a lot of time and energy into them because I'm just not going to get much of my return. See, this is this almost looks like a Hungarian wax pepper, hot pepper, which I did not intend to plant, but and yeah, see, these were labeled as bell peppers, but whatever. Anyways, then we've got this over here, which looks like a hot red cherry pepper, which I also did not plant. Or, you know, I planted it, but I did not intend to plant that. That's not what the seed packet said. Anywho, over here, we've got, you know, what was, this was holy basil. I mean, still is holy basil. Got some, this was a catch-all bed. There's still kale and Swiss chard in here that's producing. So I'll be taking some of that today. And we've got, oh, what is this, cinnamon basil, or maybe Thai basil. Got some lemon basil still. And this is lettuce leaf basil here. Some more of it here. Oh yeah, and I had tried to plant some husk cherries earlier in the year, and they didn't look like they had sprouted in their seed blocks. So I think I used those seed blocks to plant some squash or something. But surprise, surprise, they grew anyways, right next to the squash, so I'll take it. There's fruit on it. We'll see what happens. And this is what was my second planting of bush tomatoes. No cage, no nothing, just laying on the ground. And as you can see, starting to get some color on these tomatoes. So we're going to get another flush of tomatoes out of these. I'll take it. We've also got some basil mixed in amongst. This was another catch-all bed, just whatever I had needed to get planted went in. There's some more, you know, tomatoes starting to blush in there, so that's pretty cool. I'll get one last final flush of tomatoes out of these bush tomatoes here. I'll take it. Oh, let's see what else we got. That Thai basil smells so good. This is that ashwagandha, which is an interesting looking plant. It was looking pretty pretty rough earlier in the year. I think the bugs were really enjoying it. But now the bugs have kind of slowed down a little bit, and it's doing its thing here in the warmth of September. Here's my 2 largest okra plants. Get some, oop, that one's a little big. Here is my first planting of beets, which are still producing. I've moved on basically to the second planting, but I'm still pulling out of here and there to supplement the other planting. Here is what was my onions, which have all been pulled. I also had some, there's some leeks that are still left. There's a parsley there. That is a stevia. It's still a cantaloupe plant, which is basically done. That will be ready next week, and then cantaloupe will be out of here. Here is what was my first planting of carrots. Still pulling some carrots out of there each week. That bed there is what was my first planting of beans. And I have replanted lettuce there. So we'll see if those get big enough to harvest some lettuce off of before snow flies. Oh yeah, and here's the previous planting of lettuce here, starting to get decent size. I'm pulling a few bags out of there each week. I probably should let them get bigger before I harvest, but you know, if people want lettuce, so you gotta give it to them. And here we're back to what was the onion bed. I have some straggler cucumber plants here that are hanging on, still producing, well, I don't know, 5-10 pounds of cucumbers each week. Yeah, there's some small cukes right there. I think I see a larger one over here. Nope. That might be it for the cukes. No, there's some cukes in there still. And there's a cuke right there. There's a cuke. So we'll paw through there. Those will be coming to an end here soon. Oh, there's one. There's a cuke right there. Yeah. They've served me well. They're just about done. There's another stevia plant. Here's a cabbage. It's just about ready to harvest. The bugs have been enjoying it, but my row cover doesn't quite reach that spot, so it's been exposed to the critters. Purple cabbage, taken most of what looks like it's going to size up. Well, that one's ready. You know, this is of course the cabbage / kale bed from earlier in the year. Still getting a little kale off of it. Couple cabbages. And at the base of the bed here, which was the Napa cabbage, which came out early. This is my second planting of beans, which is producing well. Taking, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10 pounds of beans out of here every week. People love the green beans, so I'm happy about that. Got some collards here that I planted earlier this year that I haven't touched. They're big and probably pretty chewy at this point. And here is what was the garlic, and I have cover cropped it with peas and oats. So that's looking green and lush and beautiful. I think this has been done since the last video I made, so this didn't look like this. This was probably tarped the last video. Here is what was the second planting of flowers, which are beautiful. I haven't had enough time to really experiment with adding any extra flowers to my bouquets yet this year. Well, actually, that's not true. I have added the calendulas, these orange flowers here. But that's it. But, you know, one's better than none. These tiny little zinnias here are beautiful. Haven't actually added them to the repertoire yet. We've got the phlox. I can't remember what's what, to be honest. These are some, oh man, what are these called? Can't remember. Anyways, then we've got, I think these petunias? No, can't remember. Sunflowers are going pretty good. Bees are loving it. And as usual, zinnias. You gotta love zinnias. Always produce. Just keep going right until it gets to be freezing. And of course, that's the end of them. Got a volunteer cherry tomato plant here with cherry tomatoes that they're almost like teardrop shaped. I've never planted anything like that in this garden. So it's either something that came from elsewhere or it's a cross of a couple different cherries that I've planted, and and the pollen gets mixed, and voila, the offspring is something else. But I'll take all the volunteers I can get, to be honest with you. Here's a dahlia starting to produce. Oh yeah, there's another dahlia down there that's starting. Oh yeah, yellow zinnia. That's cool. I've been waiting for these yellow zinnias to really blow up. Get another view of the sunflowers. So, that's the garden for the middle of September. Still looking beautiful, still producing. I'm pretty happy with the production this year. I've produced more vegetables this year and also sold more vegetables, so it's been a good year so far. So that's about the gist of it. Happy growing.